Welcome to the Deep Dive. Today, we're looking at a new piece of legislation, H.R. 804.
That's right, the Rural Small Business Resilience Act.
Sounds important. It cleared the House back in February, and now it's over the Senate committee.
Yeah, the Senate Committee on Small Business and Entrepreneurship as of late Feb.
Okay, so the core idea, what's the main thrust?
It's really about improving access, specifically small business administration disaster assistance.
For people in rural areas, right? That's the rural part.
Exactly. So if you live or run a business out in a more rural community, this could, directly affect how things work after a disaster hits.
Right, because recovery can look really different outside of urban centers, unique challenges.
Absolutely. This bill is aimed at making sure that SBA help, the kind under Section 7B of the Small Business Act, is genuinely available to everyone in those spots.
Okay, let's break that down. What does H.R. 804 actually require the SBA to do?
So within 1 year of it becoming law, the SBA administrator has to get the Office of Disaster Recovery and Resilience, essentially get them moving.
Moving on what specifically?
And on providing, and this is the key phrase, full access to that Section 7B disaster assistance for individuals in rural areas.
Full access. That sounds good, but is it defined or is it just aspirational language?
No, the bill actually specifies. It means things like targeted outreach
Okay.
and marketing materials aimed specifically at people in these rural locations.
So actively reaching out, not just having the programs available if people happen to find them.
Precisely, because, sometimes information just doesn't filter out the same way in areas that are more spread out or have less connectivity. This is meant to bridge that gap.
Makes sense. Now, how are they defining rural areas? Is that new in this bill?
No, actually, it points back to an existing definition. It references paragraph 16 of Section 7B of the Small Business Act.
So it's already on the books.
Yep, there's a legal definition they're using. It usually involves things like, population density, distance from cities, standard stuff to identify these communities.
Okay. And remind us, Section 7B itself, what's that cover?
That's sort of the foundation for SBA disaster help. It's the part of the law that kicks in when a disaster is officially declared.
Right.
And it outlines how the SBA provides assistance, like those low-interest loans that are crucial for rebuilding homes and businesses.
Gotcha. So this bill is about making that specific assistance more accessible rurally.
That's the core of it.
Now, the original outline mentioned a technical amendment. What was that about? Sounds minor.
It is, really. It's basically legislative housekeeping. There were 2 paragraphs labeled 16 in Section 7B.
Oh, okay. Like a typo in the law.
Sort of. One was about the definition of rural areas we just talked about. The other was about the statute of limitations for applying for loans.
Right.
This bill just renumbers that second one to paragraph 17.
So just cleaning it up for clarity.
Exactly. Makes the law easier to read and reference. No substantive change there.
Okay. So zooming out, what's the potential impact? If this goes through, what changes on the ground for folks in rural areas after, say, a major storm?
Well, the hope is significantly better access to the resources they need to recover.
Meaning faster recovery.
Potentially, yes. Faster, maybe more complete recovery. If small businesses and individuals can tap into those SBA loans and assistance more easily because they actually know about them and how to apply, that can make a huge difference. It could be the key to bouncing back versus, really long-term struggles. It's about bolstering that community resilience.
Right, making sure that safety net is actually reachable. Are there any potential hitches or questions left open by the bill, things people might wonder about?
Definitely. I mean, the bill says targeted outreach, but it doesn't spell out exactly what that has to look like.
So the methods are up to the SBA.
Seems that way. How will they do it? What channels will they use? And also, how consistently will that existing rural definition be applied across different regions? Those are implementation details we'd need to see play out.
Okay, fair enough. So to wrap it up, H.R. 804 aims to make SBA disaster aid under Section 7B more accessible to rural communities.
Primarily by mandating specific targeted outreach.
So the information actually gets to the people who need it?
Exactly. It's about ensuring those support systems are truly available, leveling the playing field a bit after a disaster.
So for you listening, especially if you're connected to a rural community, it's worth thinking about what resilience really looks like in the face of the unexpected, and how proactive steps, like potentially this bill, could make a real difference, something to keep an eye on as it moves through the Senate.
Absolutely.
Thanks for joining us for this deep dive.